Disclaimer. Hello everyone, and for this video, we're gonna explore one of Takara Tomi's biggest lies in Beyblade Burst when talking about gimmicks, which is rubber attack. No, I am not talking about drivers, I'm specifically referring to layers, but this is a thing that is kind of non-existent. Not really like it does anything. So before we continue with this video, make sure to check out mallofbays.com. Not only do we have Beyblade X restock, we also have a lot of Beyblade Burst stuff. It is an optional way to support the channel. It helps the channel keep on going. I appreciate any support regardless. But with that being said, let's kind of begin. So let us start off with something like Judgment Joker. Now you may be asking yourself, well, what about Judgment Joker? Now let me ask you this. Before I answer that, do you think Judgment Joker is extremely viable for attack in GT because of the rubber? If your answer is yes, you are wrong. Aside from maybe the rubber stopper here to compensate for the recoil, it is essentially the shape. If you were to have this in plastic, you could hit just as hard, assuming ignoring like the burst, whatever. So ignoring the stopper thing right now for the context, the exact same shape, it can hit hard. The only thing is, in the context of what I'm talking about now, I would say plastic hits harder than rubber. The only thing is, a lot of times when you get like the plastic examples, they don't fill it out like rubber. So a lot of instances, it's where it's whatever is the hardest rubber possible, where it's almost nearly plastic. And in that example, you would have like Drago Valkyrie's rubber, where the Judgment here is a lot harder than like the original Judgment. And because it's the rubber is very hard on the layer base and it's filled in, it hits a lot harder than like the original Judgment layer base. So things like Imperial are not really worth mentioning because I don't even think we basically just cover this with Judgment, but let's go over to Brave. Brave is very, oh my god, look at all the rubber there. It's not really doing anything. Brave's not really like the most insane attacker because the shape isn't really that good. The shape at the end of the day is what matters the most. Even things like Savior and Ultimate. This Savior is pretty actually hard rubber to where it's almost like basically plastic. And even in Ultimate's example, Ultimate actually hits better when the plastic is actually a little bit more exposed on there. It's not really doing itself any favors. Even now, once we get to like Super, between M and R, Super M, where it's basically both metal on those sides, versus like Super R, the metal one hits a lot harder than the rubber one. Even though the metal one's not like as filled out as the rubber one, it still generally hits a little bit more harder and it's a little bit more consistent. This is the thing that Burst likes to peddle, but it's not really like, you don't need the rubber for attack. It's not really doing anything. You just need a good shape for it to actually make sense. Now, where rubber actually does work out, so where rubber can work is, for an example, things like Medio El Drago or like the Fafnir line, where it's the idea of kind of like this defense and kind of shock absorption where rubber softens the blow being hit towards it. And that makes a lot of sense. Rubber on layers is not really like this insane god tier kind of gimmick thing where because it has rubber it's good. No, it's at the shape at the end of the day, but how they design that shape is what matters the most. Or in other cases, if they basically just fill it in or make the rubber really hard. And that's kind of it for the Burst side. There is no true benefits at the end of the day. You've been bamboozled by Takara Tomy to think that this is some actual true gimmick that actually matters on the stuff, but it does not. So with that being said, that's kind of where we're ending off in the video. I mean, everything I said pretty much does make a lot of sense. It's just kind of the reality. And the thing is that, for me, I was very casual for such a long time, and I really did think, oh, well, the rubber has to do something. But no, the more I realize it, it's not really. It's just whatever the shape is. And for the most part, a lot of times, it's just really more used for the defensive side. And that makes sense, If I didn't want to go there, it would be a waste. So that's kind of it for this video. I want to say thank you all for watching. Have a fantastic day, and bye.